Welcome to Bikers and Backroads, a podcast about all things Harley Davidson. We're your hosts, Jason and the Big Z, so sit back and join us as we go into this week's episode of Bikers and Backroads. What's up, everybody? Thanks for downloading the most recent episode of Bikers and Backroads podcast. We're glad you joined us. We thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts on any platform. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple iTunes, we're on Amazon Music. And if you're looking at us, you've seen us on the YouTube channel. Everything posted there as well, along with some other additional content that we put out there from time to time, as well as on the socials. We're trying to really ramp up the socials. Socials, you can find us at Instagram, TikTok, Bikers and Backroads. You can also find us on X or Twitter at BNB_pod. And whether you're new to this Harley game or motorcycling in general, or you're a seasoned rider with a garage full of vintage bikes and maybe a new one or two, we think we've got something to talk to you about. We enjoy doing this, and we just thank you for listening and following. Again, you help us by sending us comments that we can address. We thank you for the recent comments from the last couple episodes. Keep an eye out for the shorts. They seem to get a lot of traction. They're usually pretty funny and just quick. So, again, thanks and welcome, and we appreciate you for finding us here. So, we're going to dive into this week's episode with my main man, the Big Z here. But first, what's going on, brother?
Not much. Been enjoying, wishing we had a little bit of warmer weather today than we do. Yesterday was kind of a tease, you know. Mm-hmm. It was pretty nice. Glad we got to get a couple miles in, which we'll talk about later into the episode. But want to just kind of lead it off with the safety tip. So yesterday we kind of took hold of that chance with the nicer weather to get a lot of stuff done, which included our basic 3-hole oil changes, which we were working on other stuff, everything. But we went ahead and got that done. And the safety tip I just kind of wanted to talk about was, after you do those, basic maintenance and stuff like that, make sure you're wiping off your parts with like brake cleaner and or carbon choke and parts cleaner, things like that. One, because you just don't want that oil residue to sit on your bike. Like in this, it can make it look not clean, but also like it can get onto your controls. Like one thing we got was I got oil all over my shifter tip whenever I was taking the oil filter off, just because it slipped out of my hand. So making sure all of that is clean, and simple, you don't even think about it, but like your foot pegs or something, that can be super simple, and you don't want your feet to slide off the pegs while you're going down the road. So yeah, if you're doing any maintenance, really, common practice it should be is you just, hit those parts with some cleaner and a rag. We like to use, brake cleaner, carbon choke cleaner, spray it on the rag, wipe everything down. If it's really bad or in a part that's not going to be affected by it, spray it directly on and then wipe it down to get a little bit extra off. But yeah, that's our safety tip, is just make sure that stuff's clean and you're not going to have residue. I personally even like to take brake cleaner and spray it on the whole bottom of the case whenever you're done changing the oil and you're getting everything tightened back up, because you don't want that to drip off and run and then potentially run under your back tire when you're going into a turn or something and things of that nature. I don't know of a whole lot of people that do that, but I think it should be a common practice for a bunch of people. I know that's something we've always done.
Yeah, the big thing yesterday, we're wearing gloves and you're doing everything, and we're taking off an oil filter and you get oil all over your hands and you're just moving around and you bump and you run. And like you said, you were changing your oil, and when we got done, you were like, I have oil all over my shifter tip, and we were getting ready to go ride at that time. We got up yesterday morning. We did everything we cleaned a bass boat and changed lower unit oil, and we changed the fuel filter because we're getting ready to head out on a fishing trip. And yes, we will take our camera equipment and we will bring you a Bikers and Backroads live and up to date while we're in Florida, and we'll talk about bike stuff. We may even talk about some fishing stuff. That's just things we like to do, but we will stick true to the motorcycle. We may even have some guests, because we're going fishing with another father-son tandem that love riding Harley Davidson. So we may jump in and get them on camera. It'll be a good time.
Yep.
But that being said, it's just your things, like all that's down there by where all this oil is draining out. I mean, you're laying on the ground. We didn't have a lift. You put your hand down to help yourself stand up or get up off the floor, and you bump or you whatever. But that stuff, oil and all that stuff, can just come into residue. It could splash up out of a drain pan. And the next thing you know, it just runs everywhere because it's viscous and slick. And you're riding and you go to put your foot down on your shift tip and your foot slides off. Well, that's not very safe. So we just took time. Make sure you spray off all of your controller. And this is not something we had planned to talk about. This was hey, we identified this. We're going to share it because if it happens to us, it's going to happen to a lot of people. And this is not the first time we've changed oil in bikes, but we had oil everywhere yesterday. I don't understand what the deal was, but it just seemed like it just ended up all over us. And I mean, for us, we didn't have that many miles. We were doing, our oil changes. Our oil both looked really clean. We checked our, magnetic tips and made sure we didn't have any big chunks of metal. So all the normal things you see, we didn't video doing our oil changes. There's so many videos out there of people doing oil changes. And like I said, at that point, we were like 3 things deep into what we had changed oil of on. And it's fine. You just watch some videos, learn your bike, wrenching stuff on it. Things that are simple and things like that, we're not going to just over flood our channel with for things like that.
Yeah.
You podcast guys that are listening digitally, if you want to go find out about a 3-hole oil change on a dyno or any Harley Davidson or any motorcycle, you can find a whole lot of content creators. Heck, there's garages now that film this stuff and share this information. Guys that have way better setups, like I said, we do garage yoga here. We're laying on the floor and we have a jack, but not a lift and things like that. But we totally identified that we had oil get on some things, and it wasn't detrimental. It didn't hurt our bikes. It didn't mess up a ride. It didn't do anything. It's just we found it in the garage before we took off on a ride, and that's where I'm telling you, don't be so excited that you got done that you don't check things, you don't torque things down, you don't change out all your O-rings. When you take an O-ring off, throw it away before you look down and can't remember which one's the new one or the old one.
Yeah.
Simple things like that. So you're going to hear that from everybody. But yeah, wipe down your controls. We found that oil from our hands ended up on a grip, and we had to wipe it off.
Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy. We just ended up with oil on everything, except all over the floor. We didn't make a huge mess there. We just had it everywhere. But anyway, second thing we're going to talk about was some big news, I think, came out this week. Is this was there will no longer be the annual Harley Davidson Homecoming event in Milwaukee. It's going to go to every 5 years. I can see why with some of the realignment, but what do you think, man?
I for the size of the event they put on, I can see where the going to every 5 years would allow them to do a lot more planning, a lot more booking to get maybe some bigger names there, or who knows, maybe they don't want to do it just at the museum and make it a much larger event. So for the growth of that, I can kind of see it, but man, it does kind of suck to lose something that a lot of people look forward to in the motorcycle world. That gives you one less thing to look forward to in a year. There are people that make plans and take time off work to go do that because it's a good event. It's a fun time. But seeing that being every 5 years, that's going to be cool because it will allow them to make that event much bigger. Definitely kind of does bring a new meaning to the homecoming, I guess, because it's going to be a little bit more of that. You don't get to do this all the time. But yeah, it does kind of suck that it's not going to be every year because, like I said, that's just one less thing we get in a year.
Yeah,
so.
There was a lot of people that had started making that annual homecoming event and doing it and then rolling into Sturgis because they were close enough. They would, you're talking 3 weeks off work if you play it right and you got the time to do it, so do it. I can totally understand with the new leadership bringing people back to work in the buildings and in the offices there in Milwaukee. Juneau Ave putting people back to work there and the hanging out and stuff like that could be a little bit of, you can plan around that and things. But I think now you're going to give people 5 years to not be up there. And people are still going to go to Milwaukee. It's the great place to go. What a great town. Go to the museum if you've never been there. We will go back. I will do that every couple years just because the events change. There's so many bikes they can set out. There's so much history, and you can't take it all in one time.
One of the coolest things they do is they have the booth set up, and you can ride every model.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just do the ride there. And next time we go back, we're going to do it. We went and didn't know that was a thing, and neither of us had our helmets with us. Neither of us had, clothes to ride in. We were both in shorts and stuff, which you can ride in shorts. Yeah. There's people that do it, but that's just not our thing. But we just weren't prepared. But that's something to know, and I want to make that known for other people. You can do that,
But I know that as far as now you've got 5 years.
Yeah.
And if you're the new CEO and the new leadership of Harley Davidson, when the new homecoming shows in, it's a chance to showcase what you've accomplished in your last 5 years. And you may actually be able to set it up to display some more of the history. You may be able to, at that point, you've redesigned what your marketing and stuff is. So,
in 5 years, we might see some totally new design bikes. That could be an unveiling of some sort,
It could be a bigger thing there. And, how they've gone back to unveiling their new lineup in the fall. Mm-hmm. You do every 5 years, you could almost, if it worked out right, you could do a homecoming at a time of the summer or early fall. One, you got to watch weather up there. It is Wisconsin. But you could do that and almost unveil your new models at a homecoming event. And I'm not privy to any of that information. I'm not Harley Davidson. We buy everything we use. We don't have insider information. But man, what if that was a chance? At a 5-year homecoming, you're revamping how you're going to communicate your commitment to dealers and riders. I hope in the next 5 years, one, I would hope that the riders and the dealerships can see the investment that Harley Davidson has put back into them. And in 5 years, that's the biggest homecoming they've ever had.
Yeah.
Part of me would love to see that. And part of me is so not into big crowds that that about me that I'm like, oh, but I mean, that would be awesome to see. This past year, they had some really bad weather that canceled a couple concerts and a couple nights with some bad storms. And you can't control that. I get it. But if you're really into your planning and committing to what you're committing to coming out of corporate release and talk and planning, the 5-year plan might allow you to really show what you're committed to. You may make a lot of ground in these next 5 years. And then you've got your vendors with really something to show. Maybe you don't have as many, influencer meet and greets. Maybe your marketing has shifted so much to that you're not just promoting people that are going to homecoming to give you traction for your marketing. And I'm not against that. Those guys do whatever, and they promote the brand I love and the brand I ride. I watch a lot of people on YouTube to get information and topics to converse about on this show. But also, when you've got 5 years to show that you've put your money where your mouth is, then you may get a whole group of riders that are like, we're going to support homecoming in Wisconsin because they've been taking care of us. And now you've got the community backing you rather than people coming to see certain influencers or whatever. There's always going to be people going to see things and things like that. But, I mean, if you get a chance this summer, go to Milwaukee, whether it's homecoming or not. Go see the venues. Go see the plants. Go see the office building. Go see the history. Go to the museum. Support the brand. But don't just do it because they're putting on a big event, even though that would be something to behold. The only con I can see is, people that are big into this would say, oh, well, Harley Davidson's, they didn't make as much money, so now they're cutting some marketing budget or something like that. Or or the people that think anytime something's different, it's because the bottom's fallen out of whatever. But I don't believe that. You can reinvent who you are and redesign what you're investing in and put it on a plan to make it bigger and better. I mean, homecomings used to not be every year.
No.
They were usually anniversary years. I mean, every 5 years, whatever. And they used to not be as big event or publicized, or they weren't as much known about to me or others that I mean, I never recall anybody saying, oh, we're going up to Harley Homecoming.
Yeah.
Except like I've heard the past couple years. I mean, I'm 49 years old, and I've heard it more the past 3 to 4 years than I ever have heard it in my life. What's your thoughts on that? I don't think it's all bad. I don't think it's all bad at all, because if I'm Harley Davidson, I want people coming without it being a show all the time. And I think you're true brand loyalists. I mean, heck, if you're a hog member, you get into the museum for free. Am I pitching you a hog membership? No, because the museum price is not bad. I mean, it's worth every penny.
Yeah.
And going there on the grounds and seeing all the history and things it's so awesome. But my thoughts is this isn't a bad thing. This is a chance for them to showcase something bigger and better in 5 years. And it's a chance for the community and Harley Davidson loyalists to see if really corporate has stepped up and done what they say they're going to be committed to. Harley Davidson as a brand and your buying experience may look totally different in 5 years. I mean, you may be taking your pilgrimage to Wisconsin to see the new bikes because, I mean, you don't have 50 of them sitting in your dealership right now. We've talked about that. Is your whole purchasing situation going to be different? Are you going to be able to pre-order a motorcycle when you get to Milwaukee? All those dealerships up there, are they going to, the dealerships, the 4 or 5 that's right around, I mean, from Ukes all the way up to Wisconsin Harley Davidson and things like that, are you talking about the ability that they may have something where they're closer to that, to the mothership of the company, getting people in their doors and things like that? Possibly. Who knows? I don't think you want to do favoritism like that, but you may use those dealerships as staging areas. Hey, such and such has this new bike in this color, and they're the first one to show it. Man, when you get somebody up there going to a homecoming, look how much traffic you can push to that place and things like that. And all those were cool when we went and visited them.
Absolutely.
Each of them have their own story and things like that. So, final, what do you think? Good or bad?
I don't see this as a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad. I don't know that. I wouldn't even say that it's good though either. It's just, it is what it is. Really, it's not. I don't think it's going to hurt Harley or put them under. But I also don't think it's going to make it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you lose something to go to every year, but it's going to make the event much more desirable to go to.
If I'm redesigning my marketing strategy right now, you know that putting on homecoming costs a lot of money. Even though there's vendors buying tables and there's sponsorships and things like that, you know Harley Davidson as an entity is putting out a lot of money to have people there. If you're doing tours through a building where you have people working that week, you may end up, those people might be off so that they can, I mean, now that you're talking about all this stuff, I don't think it's all bad. I don't think it's good. I just think it's very indifferent. I think it's a company redesigning a strategy. They're shifting on the fly. The problem is they're a big company. Like if we change the day we're going to release our podcast, most people don't really care.
Yeah.
But when we get over 1 million viewers and subscribers, they might.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. But anyway, it's a brand we love. What's your thoughts? Harley Homecoming, is it the canceling of it or not canceling? Is it the shifting from annual to every 5 years a big deal to you guys? Why? What's your thoughts? What's your feelings? If you have insider information, or you're tied in closer to corporate Harley than me, and you want to share that in a DM or something, please do, or a comment. Flood the thread. We'll get talking about it.
So, rolling on, we're going to make our third point is going to be something we kind of hinted at last week, which is the 2026 Mission King of Baggers, the teams and rosters that are going to be out there, they're out now. So the first team is that we're going to talk about is Harley Davidson and the Dynas team. And their riders are going to be Kyle Wyman, who is the defending champ, and Bradley Smith.
The second team we're going to talk about is the Indian Motorcycle Vanson Hines factory team. You're going to see Troy Herfoss, who is the 2024 defending champ, or the 2024 champion, and he's going to be teamed up with Hayden Gillum, who was the 2023 champion, who's coming from Harley Davidson to Indian, and Rocco Lander. So that's a 3-rider team.
Yeah. And then you've got Big Deal and Harley Davidson factory team, and they're going to be using James Rispoli as their rider.
So you're going to see 2 factory Harley teams
with
kickoff heading sponsors. You got Dynas with 2 riders, and they're a factory Harley Davidson team, and you've got the Big Deal factory Harley Davidson team. You know they're going to be sharing the same bikes, the same info. They're going to be working probably out of the same paddock space.
Yeah.
It's just allowing Big Deal to be the title sponsor of that team. There's going to be different paint and liveries and leathers for the riders, but you got to think as close as James Rispoli and Kyle Wyman and even Bradley Smith coming in last year, how close they've worked together, that's going to continue to be good for Harley Davidson.
Yep.
The fourth team is going to be the SDI Racing team, and they're going to be on Indians. And you're going to see Tyler O'Hara, a familiar name with factory team Indian. So Tyler O'Hara is going to be riding for the SDI Racing team, and that's a 1-rider team right now.
Yeah. And then you've got Saddleman Race Development, riding on Harleys. They're going to be using Corey West and Jake Lewis as their riders. So that's a 2-rider team. And then you've got, of course, Saddleman and Harley. So that's going to be a decent setup there. But those are the 5 teams that have been announced, and that's going to be on the King of Baggers this season. So I think we're going to have some good racing and some good battles ahead of us.
Yeah, and the Saddleman Race Development team, Saddleman's been with Harley Davidson as kind of a, not a real title sponsor, but they've been with Harley Davidson the whole time of King of the Baggers. So it showed in their bio, they were the last team announced. And who their riders were that they finalized. I did some digging this week, and that was the last team. It was like they have confirmed they're going to run, and they're going to ride road glides. They got a good relationship. They're going to be running. You know, they also have some drag specialty sponsors, Screaming Eagle, things like that. So they're going to be getting support from the motor company as well. But those are your 5 King of Baggers teams and rosters as they were posted, confirmed as of this morning. We're filming this on Sunday morning, and yes, it is March the 1st. Welcome to riding season.
Absolutely.
And go away winter.
Cold.
We are done.
Yeah.
We look like prospectively this week, we could hit a day in the high 70s, almost 80, and definitely couple days in the 70s. So that should get your juices flowing for a ride.
Absolutely.
And we were able to do that yesterday, right?
Yep. It's getting to the point, it's early season, you're going to be able to ride more, but it's still kind of that steal them when you can, you know. Early season, and here in West Virginia, you still might get a random day of snow after a week of 75, 80 degrees, and it dumps 2 and 3 inches on the ground. But luckily, with this time of the year, it's usually gone within a couple days, if not a day.
So yesterday, like we said, we did a maintenance. We worked on a boat from about 9:30 to 10:30. We took a little break to eat.
Yeah.
We did 3-hole oil changes on both our Dynas, and then we got out.
Yeah.
And it was 60s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're sweatshirts and jeans and
bunch of bikes out. And one thing I wanted to touch on is I don't know if everybody listened to us last week, but we actually got waved back at by every single person we passed. And there were bikes everywhere.
We had a lot of bike traffic out. It looked like everybody was looking out for each other. We took a new loop yesterday just riding around. We didn't have anywhere we were planning to go. We just hit some roads and turned out, and then we we know where we are always because we live here. But it was
more like
good.
found out where they ended, you know.
But we did have a great day of riding, and like I said, we were in sweatshirts and it was jeans and boots, and you know, I'm just going to say this. We got vests for Christmas, and you don't have to think you're Sons of Anarchy because you wear a leather vest. And yeah, I was very kind of way on the fence of having one or not. I don't know that you need all the stigma, but if you think about riding for the slide, that leather is going to protect you. But man, it cuts the wind so well that we don't have front fairings. We don't have windshields. No. But that leather vest seemed to just eat all the wind from me. And I mean, I know people could tease us and whatever, you know, whatever. But one, I think the leather makes you safer if you'd go down. Granted, it's not all over your arms like a jacket would be and all that stuff. And ours does hold armor if you want to put that in there and blah, blah, blah. But the ability to ride comfortable yesterday with just that extra layer of eating wind.
Because you didn't have any wind coming through your sweatshirt on your center mass on your body, but a little chill on your arms every now and then, that feels really good. Like it keeps you from being overly warm. And
we didn't need the winter glove. We didn't need the heated gloves. But it was great. But yeah, so we live, I'm not going to tell you where we live. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We live here in Taze Valley, Scott Depot, West Virginia. So our loop we took yesterday, we took out on Taze Valley Road, and we turned south on 817, and we hit Coal River Road. We looped back into South Charleston. We hit Route 25 going through Dunbar. After we hit South Charleston, we went over into Charleston on the Patrick Street Bridge, hit Route 25 through Dunbar down into Institute, hit Route 622 from Institute up into Cross Lanes, went through Cross Lanes, hit Route 62, come into Poca, and then we ripped that all the way over and crossed the bridge into Winfield, back on 817, on to 34, which loops us close back to our house. And we started out riding Coal River Road trying to get to South Ridge out in Charleston, and I was letting Xander lead, and he knows those roads because he's ridden them in the cars a lot of times with me driving.
I've worked on a couple of them.
Yeah, he works out in those areas in storm damage and stuff. So he texts me, cues my comm, and he's like, I'm trying to go here, but I think I missed a turn. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Go. We'll swing back around. We went into Lincoln County on Coal River Road, hit a little UE, come back. Got back onto Coal River Road, and where we needed to turn to go out into South Ridge, we hit a loop, and we end up back. And he was like, "Where are we going to come out?"
We were going to come out in the back of South Ridge and come through South Ridge, but we ended up in front of it.
I'm like, right now we're going to come into Rock Lake.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I know where I am. Never mind." So we just made a little loop and rode. So, I mean, we were out probably an hour and a half. We rode about 52, 53 miles. We were riding. We were going to be cruising. We had lots of time left, and the ladies called, and they wanted to go to dinner. So we met them at the house. We had ridden. We had done all of our stuff. Then both of us were going to, we had done all that. So then we needed to park. Yeah. We needed to let them sit. We needed to check some levels, make sure we didn't have any leaks.
Both of us had the same drip because somehow yesterday oil filters were not easy. They made a mess yesterday.
We didn't have we are fine. Our levels are good, but if you're taking off a Harley Davidson oil filter on the front of a Dyna motor, I mean, I don't work on M8s. I've never seen it, but ours right there on the front, and there's no way you're not going to take that oil filter off and get a drip or two down on the front of that case. And when it heats up, it just runs. And when you park, like we have the same little drip, but we've wiped all that down. We sprayed part clean on it.
Now.
So, but yeah, you just check all that and check your levels. But we had a great ride. Again, a road we don't usually go on, but like if you're going to take off with the girlfriend, that's a great little loop to end up
at a shopping center
in South Charleston and grab some dinner. And you've ridden 40 miles, 50 miles, and hit the loop and come back home. I mean, if you have just an evening or an afternoon, put miles on your bike. Big day here. I turned 4,000 miles on my 2014 Dyna that I'm the third owner of.
Yeah.
And consistently, I've definitely put more miles than the other guys combined.
Yeah.
But we've been trying
in
to
2
ride
years,
way more.
You've put over double the miles on it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's awesome.
So, I mean, we were just talking when we changed our oil yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, there are guys that change their oil 3-4 times a year.
We'd love to be those guys.
And we both had 2,000 miles. Maybe you had 2,500. There are times you ride more than me if you're home and you can or whatever. Yeah. You go on some bigger rides sometimes. Like if I ride to work and home, that's barely 60 miles.
Yeah.
But there are times if you're off work and or come home from work and I'm not home and you take off. There's times you may ride a little more than me, especially if we're gone out of town with something.
Yeah.
And you can ride those days. But I think I had barely 2,000 miles on my oil. And you probably had, I think we added it up, you had like 2,700 or something on your oil.
And we had changed it like mid-season last time.
And we changed our oil, and man, it looked nice and honey brown, and all of our fluids looked great. And, you know, people were like, oh, you still change your motorcycle oil every 3,000 miles? I was like, I do mine annually. Every year we're going to do it. I would love to ride so much this year that we're like on our second oil change or third oil change
when we're putting them up for the winter.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. But we just haven't had that luxury, but our lives are seeming to change and calm down so we can ride more. Then I think the more I ride, maybe I need to ride something different for comfort and stuff like that. But
I'll be honest, it's kind of hard for me to think about it. It's like the first year I owned my bike, which I was, I said I wanted to ride to school. I legitimately would ride. Like when I first bought my motorcycle that first year, my truck would sit for like weeks at a time because I just wouldn't drive. I'd ride my motorcycle everywhere I went, all the time. The first year I owned my bike, I legitimately did change the oil in it like 2 or 3 times that year because I had to. I put a bunch of miles on it. But then, life changed and it didn't get to ride as much. And I mean, everybody knows how that goes. But like you just said, our lives are changing, slowly to where we are getting the ability to ride a good bit more. And I'm hoping to be able to put many, many miles on my bike.
Mm-hmm. That would be awesome. So yesterday was a great thing. We got up early at 9:30. We're out there strapped behind the outboard motor of a bass boat.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, we did all this maintenance and we came in and I was like, it's 1:00. Mm-hmm. I mean, the girls were gone doing girl things that day, and they were like, we're going to plan to be back up at like 5:00 at the house. So I'm like, if we can get all this done by 2:30 or 3:00, we can ride for 2 hours. And we probably were gone almost 2 hours. We pulled back in at like 10 till 5 because they were like, we're home. And so we were coming that way, but that was the plan. But we literally got to go out. And if we would have just not done the boat and just did our bikes, we could have took off and rode to Hawk's Nest or anything. Like we had the time to do that yesterday. But I mean, the ability to get out and ride, we may have rode 60 miles yesterday, 70 miles, but we were gone 2 hours. So that to me is just a big reset button. And like you said, you used to ride to and from school. It's like 9 miles one way.
Yeah.
So you think I've rode my bike every day and I've rode it all around here and I haven't went 20 miles in a day.
No.
So, I mean, I get up here and leave and go to work and come home and it's like 32 miles one way for me to work and then the same thing coming home, which is a huge reset for me. And if I did that more during the week, I would end up putting miles on our bike. But, I mean, just to get up and say, hey, we need to run and get this. Let's take the bikes and throw them in the saddlebag. We were having this conversation yesterday. I would love to be able to get up on Saturday mornings and take a route that we haven't ridden around here. Like yesterday, I should have recorded that loop on our Harley app and posted it for people to have. So I plan on doing a lot more of that. We didn't take a camera with us at all yesterday. No. We didn't video anything. We just had a day of just hanging out, doing our thing. We did go over getting the cameras how to get set up. We're going to go down and rig your helmet up on how to get your mic in there. But both of us right now are really talking about upgrading our helmets.
Yeah.
So
we want to film riding really bad to put it out on this channel. But like you said, we're both really wanting to upgrade our helmets. And those mounts aren't the most expensive at all, but they're not the cheapest either. Yeah. So it's like, put the time and money into what I have now to get a new helmet like here in a month or...
Yeah, I mean, so we're talking about upgrading my helmet. If I upgrade my helmet, I'm going to have to get a Cardo because my Senna will not do what your Cardo does. And if you're a Senna person, awesome. I love it. Hope you enjoy it and whatever. We're not sponsored by either brand, Senna, Cardo, but from trial and error in this house, I will be a Cardo guy. Your Cardo works flawless. Elle's Cardo works flawless. My Senna,
and we don't even run the top.
Yeah.
I would love to upgrade mine. And whenever you buy a new helmet, that's something I really might look into is upgrading mine. And if we could get them, Cardo runs a 2-pack deal where you can buy 2 at one time and it's cheaper. Like I run the Freecom 4X because at the time when I bought mine, it was like if you're using yours more for you ride by yourself and you're just listening to music but want to be able to answer the phone and whatnot, that's the great one. The Freecom 4X, I think they have a newer Freecom out now, but that one's great. I would love to go to the Pack Talk though, that has the mesh system that just auto connects in and out. So that's something else. Like you're wanting to upgrade your helmet. When I upgrade my helmet, I might do that as well to upgrade to a better Cardo.
Yeah. So like I said, we pay for all this. Yeah. We don't have Senna endorsements. We don't have Cardo endorsements. We don't have a helmet brand. If you're watching this, Cardo, and you want to send us your endorsement, glad. Give us a discount code, whatever. Senna, you'd have to sell me on better technology than I have built into my Outrush. Now, is that probably not the top of the line Senna that they have? Absolutely. But I've seen the base model Cardos perform better than my Senna has, and I'm not slamming you. If you're a Senna person, great. But mine has not performed to the level that I think it does. Does it have good audio? Yeah. It has JBL speakers. And I mean, my helmet is not terrible. We've talked about it this many times. My helmet's fine. I wouldn't buy it again. Thank you. So the ease of which you just connect and you touch and you make a call and things like that, that would have saved us from getting lost on that loop yesterday. But when you talk about updating your helmets, then you're talking helmet price, Cardo price, new chin mounts. Nope. I mean, if we don't run, we have other mounts, but I would probably go with the chin mount just because it takes up less footprint on the front of your helmet. They're designed to fit specific types of helmets. Again, we pay for all this. We don't have anybody sending us stuff to use or work with. But at the same time, we're learning what works better for us and what doesn't. And I mean, we're totally non-biased people. We're seeing what works the best, what we like the best, what's the easiest to use, and we're going to share that with people. Because if you can learn from things we've learned from and you don't go buy 3 things, I'm a buy once, cry once. If it seems a little expensive, but it meets all my needs, I'm going to just buy it.
Yeah.
Because it's probably going to save me headache in the end. But yeah, so that wasn't even a rant. That wasn't anything to say, but like we're both looking to upgrade our helmets. That's a cost. Then you look at getting your cameras back out. Again, we could have filmed yesterday. I took a couple film shots and put them out on social. Sander took a couple. We're going to dump his on social. But we could have easily had a vlog video. But I wasn't in that vibe yesterday. I
No.
just wanted to ride. I mean, we hit some lines and we cruised.
Yeah.
And you hit a line and pulled away from me on a road we ride a lot. And I was just in the middle of filling something out on my bike, and I looked up, and you had 3 speeds, here, there, and gone. And you were out of here. And you cued me on the comm, and you're like, I didn't mean to run off from you. And I was like, no, I was just feeling something, and you were gone. And you just had hit a line, caught like in a rail. You hit it just right. And it was cool. You just checked out. And then we had another situation where I hit a line on the road coming through 62 and checked out a little bit. But, man, it was great. The wind was great. The weather was great. Our bikes were running great.
Yeah. If you're still riding out in these areas like we just mentioned, dude, watch out. There was a lot of debris on the road still. We came across an alarming amount of animals on the road, like dead animals that have been hit. That was something we saw. Roadkill was a bunch, but there's still some debris. Like there were times on comms I was like, gravel, gravel, gravel in the road. And that's just, we're still coming out of, salt trucks and things of that nature. It did snow here like last week, but it was, gone by here. So that was, it didn't get time to be washed away. Like one of the bridges we were on was more salt than pavement. So that was something I was trying to pay attention to. But there are still areas where potholes have been ripped up and they need patched again. So I'm sure there's going to be road work coming up, especially soon. But yeah, keep your eyes out for that stuff still in the West Virginia riding world.
We rode a lot of roads with a lot of shadows. I mean,
yes.
and we don't even have any trees blooming or there's no leaves or anything. So you're paying attention through shadows for potholes. So just be aware. Get out and ride. Put your miles in. Get it. It's a great reset. It clears your head. But yeah, I say that, and it's predicted to maybe snow here tonight into tomorrow morning, but be 70s through the week. So welcome to West Virginia, where you can have all 4 seasons in one day if you'd like to. But that's going to wrap this up for us, man. Take us home, and we'll see you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for watching and joining us today, guys. That's all for today's conversation. Don't forget, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts from. And if you're looking at us, you've already found us on YouTube. But hey, if you're just on the podcast side and want something else to try to watch in the evenings, check us out on YouTube because we're putting out some more content. We're trying to get more. Be looking for us on Instagram and TikTok at Bikers and Backroads. And then we're on X or Twitter at B&B_pod. And yeah, we just appreciate y'all. Hope you get the chance to ride, and we're going to keep stealing them when we can. We're going to keep trying to, get those moto vlogs or just riding videos out. And yeah, y'all, we'll catch you later.
You guys stay safe and be blessed. We'll catch you on the next one.